people are doing tonight. How is it right now in Jamaica?
Well, Jamaica has sustained a major impact from a Category 5 hurricane, one of the strongest hurricanes to have hit Jamaica, and certainly within the top 10 strongest hurricanes recorded. The corridor of damage is significant. We have lost hospitals. Certainly, our road infrastructure would have been damaged, which would include bridges, gullies, and waterways. The housing infrastructure would have been severely impacted in the corridor that the hurricane traveled. The hurricane hit the southwestern end of the island and crossed the island going northwards, and it should be now leaving the island, but behind it is a trail of destruction in the corridor of impact.
Prime Minister, I pick up that you're speaking in the past tense. Is that because you already know some of this, or you haven't been able to get communication because all that communication has been knocked out?
Well, when you're hit by a Category 5 hurricane, it's highly unlikely that you will be able to have communications uninterrupted. So in some parts of the island, communication is down. Electricity would be down as well, some preemptively. But we are still able to keep contact right across Jamaica. So what I'm giving you would be the summary of reports to date, to this point.
Is it fair to say, because the hurricane is still over Jamaica, you truly have no sense of how bad the damage is right now?
No, we are getting reports. We're getting assessment through our National Emergency Operation Committee. So we do have a sense of what the damage is, but clearly, it would only be after the passage of the hurricane and it is safe to conduct proper damage assessment that we will see the full picture. But the picture right now suggests that damage within the corridor of impact is significant.
What has been the most concerning report you've gotten so far from anyone out there in Jamaica?
Well, the impact on our hospital system in the areas that have been impacted, at least 2 or 3 hospitals have been severely damaged. Clearly, impact on our road infrastructure. We have seen landslides and rivers retaking their original courses and destroying property along their banks. And of course, the loss of roofs and housing.
Have you gotten any reports about any loss of life, or is it simply too early?
Well, we have confirmed 3 lives lost before the impact of the hurricane, before landfall of the hurricane. And those persons were, by all reports, taking precautionary actions in cutting through trees and removing debris, and were the victims of accidents, unfortunately. So far, we have not had confirmed reports of any deaths, but again, it's too soon to say that there are no deaths.
What is your understanding of Montego Bay right now? There were many people who were unable to leave Jamaica that were there, I should say, on vacation, and were essentially trapped. They're at the resorts right now in those ballrooms. Have you had communication with any of those hotels? Do you understand how those tourists are doing?
I've had a preliminary report from the Minister of Tourism, who would have given an assessment that some hotels were damaged, that there is damage to our airport. I can't say to what extent, but we have a fairly robust response plan, and the tourism industry is always prepared, knowing that we are in this zone where we could be impacted by hurricanes. So I know that they're doing the best they can, and that the provisions will be made to ensure that our guests and Jamaicans alike are in a safe place at this time.
We're seeing video of roofs ripped off buildings and hearing reports of people stranded by the floodwaters. Give us an update on the status of search and rescue operations. Have those started, or is it still too dangerous?
It's still too dangerous to do search and rescue. I've had a few reports of our fire brigade conducting some rescue operations on land, but they would have to make the assessment. From a policy perspective, we have given a directive that during the hurricane, we should, as best as possible, protect our response assets and respond to the most extreme emergency for which the judgment is there would be the possibility of a favorable outcome.
Have you been in touch with President Trump or the American government?
Oh, I've actually received a message from Secretary of State Rubio, and not just the United States, but we've had contact with most of the international community, for which we are grateful. We do intend to mount right after this, the hurricane has passed and it's safe to do so, a credible relief and recovery response, and we would be grateful for support to augment this response so that we can recover even better and stronger than before.
Can you share what Secretary of State Marco Rubio told you? Did they promise aid would come into Jamaica or some type of assistance?
Well, the commitment of the United States would be to support in whatever way they can, whatever way we see fit, and the areas in which we see that we would need assistance. Secretary of State and the President of the United States have always been good to us, and we have always been good and strong partners with the United States. So we're confident that whatever assistance they can render and whatever assistance we deem necessary, there would be a great effort to have that fulfilled.
Do you have any sense of what you're going to need first, whether it be water, food, electrical infrastructure?
Well, you know, the immediate humanitarian response can always be augmented with food, immediate shelter, medicines, those kinds of things. That will be covered in the next 10 days, obviously. But the real help will be in the rebuilding of the infrastructure so we can get our economy back on track, and so that we can rebuild a more resilient economy to withstand these more frequent and intense weather events, which is a feature of a changing climate.
Do you have any idea what Jamaica is going to look like tomorrow?
That's a difficult question to answer. To put it at scale, the entire Jamaica was affected by this hurricane, but some areas were more affected. So of our 14 parishes, I expect that 4 of them would have severe damage, and that would be those parishes in the southwestern end of the island. So we're looking at St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, St. James, Trelawney. And then there might be some impacts on Hanover and Mandeville. In the eastern end of the island, we're seeing some damage done in St. Thomas. But generally, there would be an impact right across the island. Roofs would be damaged, roads would be damaged. There would be flooding and landslides. But the concentration would be in that corridor where the hurricane hit.
And then finally, Prime Minister, what is your biggest concern at this hour?
Well, the biggest concern is that residents remain calm, that they stay indoors. I know the impact of the hurricane can be frightening, but no, it's not the time for us to lose our presence of mind. So I appeal to all the residents to stay in and stay safe. We will, at some point, issue the all clear, and then we will mount the recovery and relief response to clear the roads, to make contact with communities that have been marooned, to provide the humanitarian relief, and to assist people with the rebuilding of their homes and businesses.
Prime Minister, we thank you for your time. We will be praying and thinking about the people of your
prayers. And I thank the people of the United States who have reached out to us and prayed for us. Thank you.
And as we continue to track Hurricane Melissa, thousands of tourists unable to get out in time are still stranded on the island nation. That includes Melanie Reynolds from Long Island, New York. She's currently sheltering at her hotel in Montego Bay. She joins us live by phone because the internet is down across much of the island, as you can imagine. Melanie, I'm told you're hunkering down right now inside one of the hotels. The worst of the storm continues to pass over you. Talk to me about what you're seeing and hearing right now, if you can.
Well, right now we're not really hearing a lot. Earlier, it was extremely windy. It almost sounded like it was whistling. We're not really going outside. We've only kind of peeked a couple of times just to see what's going on because we're afraid of getting outside. We have our rooms barricaded, basically, to be in here.
We're seeing some of the video you shot earlier. How bad was it at its peak?
We did look outside, but it sounded horrific.
Yeah. So you have no idea what has happened around you right now?
No, not really. No, we haven't left the room since last night.
Has the hotel communicated anything to you? Are they helping you out with food and water, those kinds of things?
They brought us a bunch of stuff yesterday. They had the buffet open yesterday from around 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. They gave us hurricane packages with fruit, cereal, a granola bar, some cookies, a cup of noodle soup, some milk, a juice. They did bring us extra water. They brought us a bunch of water yesterday, like bottles, tall bottles, small bottles. They brought quite a few. We have a lot. So we should be okay for now.
But it sounds like from what you're saying, the structure where you're staying, at least, it looks like it's kept up. It's survived.
Yeah, we're in a concrete building. They moved us from the ground floor 2 days ago to the third floor above like the main lobby and like where there's like a sports bar downstairs. So they decided to keep us a little bit safer.
I know you're kind of hunkered in your room, as you said. Any idea about storm surge where you are? I know Montego Bay, a lot of the resorts are right on the beach.
Yes, I sent a video earlier. It maybe looks like 2 feet of water. It looks like it's going towards the beach. I can't really tell how far it's coming from or what it's affected in front of us, though.
Yeah. And I know this is very early. Have they given you any kind of sense of when hopefully you would be able to get out and how you will be able to get out?
I'm hoping that I can fly out of here on Thursday, but it's not looking that hopeful. We got completely screwed by JetBlue.
Yeah.
They canceled our flight like 26 hours in advance before the airport even mentioned closing and gave us nothing to return back with, just offered a refund.
Yeah, you feel abandoned, huh?
I'm sorry, the phone cut out. What did you say?
I said you feel abandoned, huh?
Yes, definitely abandoned. They didn't care about us at all.
Yeah.
They canceled us at 8:30 in the morning on Saturday. Our flight was at 9:56 on Sunday. And within like a half an hour, they were like, there's no other flights. You're on your own, basically.
Yeah, there's no way to get out. There's no way to get out.
No.
It's going to be really hard now. I don't know if you could hear the Prime Minister interview we had, but it sounds like some of the airports, there's been some damage there as well. But again, no one really has a sense because no one's been able to get out, just like yourself, and communication has been cut off in a lot of parts. Have you had any contact with any of the other hotel guests? Have you heard anything else that's going on in Montego Bay?
Not really, just a couple of people in the hallway saying they've never even experienced a hurricane. Some of them live in Toronto. But our friend did get out Sunday morning. The airport was open till 12. She was able to get on a standby with American Airlines, and she got home to Miami Sunday morning. So
no, and I'm sure that's something that's going to be reviewed in the days and weeks ahead about what exactly happened, especially with people that wanted to get out and they weren't, for some reason, able to get out, and it wasn't fair, clearly, in your case.
I hope so.
Yeah. Do you have a plan? How much? I mean, do you have enough food, you think, for if you have to stay there for a few days?
Yeah, I think we'll be okay. We went to the supermarket on Saturday to be on the safe side. Cold cuts. We bought some juice.
Yeah.
Chips and stuff that'll last.
Anything you want to say to your friends or family out there that may be watching this concerned about you?
I've been in touch with them. They've been able to reach me most of the day. We actually haven't really lost service, thankfully, and even in the hotel, we've had power this whole time. So we've been fairly lucky when it comes to that.